If your Lenormand polls feel vague or confusing or like they just don't make any sense, this is probably the reason for it. So make sure to stick around for this video because we're going to get into what I think is perhaps the most overlooked aspect of reading Lenormand. Hi, I'm Emily Rose. I'm a professional Lenormand and tarot reader. I also teach tarot readers and the mystically minded to read Lenormand like they're talking to a friend. And today we are here with key number 3 of the Think Like a Lenormand Pro series. Now, if you missed keys 1 and 2, make sure to go back and watch those. I have linked them in the description below. There's a really fun, timeless month ahead DIY Lenormand spread as well, so you don't want to miss that. Inside this series, we are exploring the 5 keys that create clear, confident readings when it comes to Lenormand. I will say this is probably the most important key that I'm going to talk about. It is the most overlooked, in my opinion, in the Lenormand world, and it is probably 50% of your success when it comes to reading Lenormand successfully, accurately, and fluently with ease. Before we get going, I have a workshop announcement for you. You can now register for my workshop, The Tarot Reader's How-To Guide to Lenormand. And this is happening on Saturday, March 11th and on Sunday, March 12th, and you can pick whichever day you want to attend. This is a live workshop. Inside, we're going to be getting our hands dirty, looking at some spreads, card combinations, and also looking at the perks and pitfalls of reading Lenormand as a tarot reader. So if you are interested in Lenormand at all, even if you're not a tarot reader, make sure to come to this workshop because we're going to have so much fun interpreting together. And I'm also going to be spilling all of the details of my new membership site that is coming your way soon. So make sure to register. The link is in the description down below. And even if you can't make it live, if you're registered, I will send you the recording, but you need to be registered to get it. So I can't wait to see you all on March 11th or 12th. Without further ado, let's dig into the third key to clear, confident Lenormand readings, and that is asking clear, concise questions. A clear question can get you a clear answer. I teach a Lenormand class and someone says, "Help, can you help me interpret my spread?" My first question to them is going to be, "What was your question?" And most of the time, someone will say something like, "Well, I was just ruminating about work," or "I was just kind of feeling into the energy of school or my love life," or whatever. And I'm almost always going to say, okay, let's formulate a specific question and redraw the cards, because in Lenormand, the question or the context is everything. It's just so massively important. And that's because Lenormand is lexical in nature. So let's dig into a little bit why it's so important to kind of help you understand this, and then we will get into how to ask a clear question. I have a little formula to give you. So why is the question so important? Why focus on this? As I mentioned, Lenormand is lexical in nature, meaning it speaks to us in its own kind of language. It has its way of speaking, and it can talk to us in almost like a sentence that we can interpret pretty quickly. And the cards respond directly to us, the querent, but also they respond directly to the question that we ask. So you have to be really careful about how you phrase your question because the cards are going to answer that question specifically. And if you ask a vague question, it's probably going to give you a vague answer, right? So the more specific your question is, the more specific your answer is going to be. I learned how to ask clear Lenormand questions basically from trial and error. I didn't have a very sophisticated way of asking questions when I started. And then as I practiced, as I honed my Lenormand skills, I learned that the more specific my question was, the more specific my answer was. And so it was really trial and error that brought me this little formula that I'm going to teach you to ask clear questions. And I just kind of want to give you permission to, when you're starting out, it's fine to not ask a clear question right off the bat. You'll see the reflection in the cards, and then you can just adjust accordingly. So don't be afraid of asking a vague question. If you get, a vague answer, go back and look at your question and then ask yourself, okay, can I make this more specific, right? And this little formula will help you. So we dig way into this in my signature course, Lenormand Foundations, which, a little spoiler, is going to be included inside of my Lenormand membership, which is coming your way soon. So if this is tricky for you as you're working through this, don't worry. You can always join the membership and we will dig into your questions together. Okay, so here is my little question formula. Blurt it out, ask why, get specific. So let's look at step 1, which is to blurt it out, right? Just say or write down whatever is on your mind that you're wondering. These are usually really rough and unpolished. Occasionally, the question comes out perfect. So just start out that way, blurt it out. So let's take an example. Let's say we have a client coming to us and they say something like, why am I still single? What the heck? Why does every person that I date suck so bad? Okay, that's what a client might say to you, right? So they just blurted it out. They want to know, they're saying, why am I still single? Why does everyone suck? Those are the 2 questions we got. They just blurted it out. Now, of course, we could ask those questions, but is that really what they want to know? So this is where the second step comes in. We ask, why do you want to know this? Right? Why do you want to know why everyone you date sucks? Right? And basically what you're asking, another way to get at this is, what do you want? Right? What are you trying to get out of this? What do you want? And they may come back and say something like, well, I really want to find a partner and I want to know why I'm not attracting that person or that partner. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere, huh? Because now we have what they want out of it. They want to attract a partner, right? So we could ask those first few questions, but that actually wouldn't get at what they want to know, right? Maybe they do say something like, well, I want to know why I'm not attracting that. Okay, then we can dig into that. But let's just say for this that they want to attract their ideal partner and they don't know how, right? They don't know why this isn't happening. Now we've blurted it out, we've asked why, and now comes the third part of this little formula, which is to get specific. Usually in getting specific, what I mean about this is to narrow your focus. So we started with a few different questions, and what I tend to do when I'm working with clients is present them with a few different options for questions. And I kind of either look at their faces if we're on Zoom or just verbally ask them which one of these sounds the most fruitful, or do all of them sound the most fruitful for you? And then we're pulling several different spreads, right? So with a question like this, with why am I not attracting my ideal partner? Or what can I do to attract my ideal partner? Then I say, okay, are you wondering what your love life will look like over the next year to start with? Maybe that person will just come into your life, right? And so then we're getting specific with, okay, let's look at the next year. What is happening with your love life over the next year? That's probably how I would start the reading, just kind of to get an overview. I might do a box spread for this. I might do like a 7-card line, something like that. And then if it doesn't look like that person's going to come into their life, then I might ask something like, okay, how can this person attract a partner that is in their best and highest good over the next year? And I would ask that with Lenormand. I might pull in some tarot for that as well. Another thing is you could ask, maybe you ask that person and they say, I seem to be attracting the wrong kinds of people for me. then we could start digging into that train of thought of, okay, what kind of person? Can you please describe the person that would be in my best and highest good? What qualities should I look for in a person that is within my best and highest good, right? So you see how there's so many different little tangents we can go down with that, kind of broad topic that we started with, but it's important that we start to narrow in. And it's fine to pull multiple spreads. You don't have to have a question that encompasses absolutely everything. You can always pull a grand tableau if you want something like that. But I think it's really important to really get into what does your client, or if you're the querent, what do you want to know? And don't be afraid to get specific with it. You may pull some cards for a question and then kind of reflect on the question and think, maybe I wasn't specific enough. Then just go back to the drawing board and redraw your cards. But the thing that I'm getting at with this is take your time when it comes to crafting your question, because if you don't have a clear question, you don't have anything to kind of build your Lenormand success on. The question is really the prep work. It's the platform that everything else stands on in Lenormand. So if you have a well thought out question, if it's specific, it's clear and concise, then the likelihood of you having a clear, concise interpretation, the odds just go up so much higher. So if you're going to spend time on something, spend time on crafting your question. A lot of you know me, and you know that I love to learn something and then immediately do it. So here is my challenge to you. I want you to use this comment section here and follow those 3 steps. Blurt it out, ask why, get specific. You see my dog in the background. She's always my friend for all these videos. So use the comment section and just blurt out what you're wondering. Then ask, why do I want to know this? And then get specific. And go ahead and post that down below. Do it right now. This is a great way to practice and to get this under your belt. And I will be checking the comment section. So if you want help with your question, if you're like, is this specific enough? Is this clear? Feel free to put it in the comments and I'll give feedback on that. Go ahead and do the challenge. And then my other piece of homework for you is to make sure that you are registered for the Tarot Reader's How-To Guide to Lenormand, my workshop that's coming up so soon. Even if you can't make it live, if you're registered, I will send you the replay. So make sure you're registered for that. And I cannot wait to see you guys live so soon. And I can't wait to see what questions you come up with. We still have 2 more keys to talk about. So if you are subscribed and you have the bell, you'll be notified once those videos come available as well, just in the next few days. Thank you all so much, and happy divining.